Make sure you're recorded, because I really don't want to say it and then have to do it again. How to Climb a Mountain by Cindy Seeley. As a teen, have you ever been to the mountains and traveled with people you have never met before? Lived off the land to survive the moment and able to be standing here and saying that you did it? The summer I was 15, I did that. My family was poor, we had no money, so I went and was telling teachers that I wanted to get a job, and they referred me to Oakley, Intercounty Community Council in Oakley, and I signed up for a job, and I got nothing. But I was offered a trip to the Bighorn Mountains in Wyoming. I also was told that I wouldn't need no money for it, so I could do this. This is something I could afford. So we went with 9 people, and I was the only girl. It was all guys, except for the 3 chaperones. There was 1 adult woman with us. So it was me and a woman on this trip. Bemidji State University sponsored it, and also the city of Oakley, Intercounty. We got backpacks, tents, vehicle, food, everything was from the state of Minnesota and the Bemidji University. Food that we brought with was freeze-dried, trail mix, things that were dried. Didn't have a refrigerator, so we didn't have anything that we could bring with us that was frozen or cold. We had to share it with the group. And we also had to bring good walking shoes. And I remember my shoes were worn out by the end of the trip. 9 days in the mountains. We had no phones back then. This was the 90s, early 90s, and there was no communication when we got there. I was a little nervous. I didn't know what to think about the whole group. And nobody was from the same town. There was people everywhere. When we were driving to the Bighorn Mountains in Wyoming, there was no stops on the way there. We drove all night, all day. Only stops we did make was for bathrooms. I had an unsure feeling when we got there. I didn't know what we were doing. Never gone camping in my life. Never started a campfire. I had never seen the mountains before. They were huge bumps off on the flat land. And the summer was warm. And we got there and we started filling our backpacks. And I didn't miss home at all. I didn't care that we were gone, but I was a little nervous about who we were with because I never talked to them the whole way when we were in the bands. And when we got there, we talked about our food and limiting how much we were bringing up in the mountains in the backpacks. Everything we brought in the mountains, we carried on our back. That was the tent, the sleeping bags, everything. We had to collect water, and we had these water pumps that you put into the river, and you pump the water through the pump for drinking and stuff. And during our trip, we ended up breaking some of the water pumps. So we ended up having no water eventually. So we had to be taught how to climb the mountain. You had to climb way up to the top of the mountain to collect water and bring it down to our campsite and heat it up on a campfire just to be able to drink it. And you can't drink the water in the river because the trails were available for horses to ride on, and horses void and leave solid waste behind. that run into the river. So we were not able to drink the water in the river. We had to go to the top of the mountain. And the fresh water at the mountain, we ended up learning how to cook with the water too, because everything was dehydrated. We had mess kits that we used for silverware, stainless steel pans, and scrubbers in a net bag that we used to dry the dishes, air dry them. When making a campfire, the Bighorn Mountains in Wyoming, they don't have trees or lots of grass laying around. It's boulders, rocks. It's very rocky ground. So you have to walk around and search for tree sticks and to make a campfire. So you gather wood, you make your campfire. Oh. And then the food, we made our food and we split it. Bathrooms. For the bathroom, we had to shovel and we had to dig a hole, and that's where we went to the bathroom. We had to burn the toilet paper, and we leave no trace left behind. And would I climb the mountains again? Yes, I would climb the mountains again if I ever have to do that again. The skills that I learned showed me how to everyday life skills and more. So I know how to climb a mountain. I hope you do too. Thank you. Oh, and show everybody. And Cody on the floor. Don't forget him.